Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mel. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. First things first, gratefulness. I'm forever grateful and continue to bathe in a sea of gratitude every day. My family is healthy, wealthy, and happy. I'm healthy, wealthy, and happy. Even all of the chaos embedded in each day is easily transmuted into fuel I can use to usher in joy. So I stay grateful. And then I'm also grateful this week because my flights and my accommodations are booked for my next destination. And I can't wait to speak about it soon on an episode about my transition from the United States to Mexico. So stay tuned to find out more about that. Let's get into it. This is episode 3 in my 5-part series on healing. And today's topic, well, it's a hill that I continue to climb up and figuratively die on in my life. Hence the show's title, Holistic Nutrition is the Medicine. But before I move into the meat, no pun intended, of what I'm going to say today, I want to be crystal clear. I am here to share my truth unapologetically and the paths that don't always get mainstream approval, but transform my life. Because sometimes what people side-eye is what spirit has assigned for you. Now, you know I love me a good definition, and I'm team hashtag facts over feelings. So let's start with a few receipts to back up what I'm saying. Did you know that according to the World Health Organization, almost 60% of our health outcomes are determined by our lifestyle and environment, not our genes or doctor visits? And Healthline reported that nearly 80% of chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, can be prevented through balanced nutrition, mindfulness, movement, and rest. That means the real medicine isn't hiding in the prescription bottle. It's already in your kitchen, your community, in the garden, and in your consciousness. But let's keep going because some of y'all are hard-headed. According to research from the National Institute of Health, what we eat can literally reprogram our DNA expression. That means your daily choices can turn certain genes on or off. In other words, you might inherit certain tendencies, but you don't have to activate them. Food can be both your prevention and your cure. Studies in nutritional psychiatry show that what you eat directly affects your mood and emotional regulation. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats have been linked to lower rates of depression and anxiety because 95% of your serotonin, that feel-good neurotransmitter, is produced in your gut, not your brain. So yes, gut health is mental health. Let's talk about consumption on a cultural level. So according to the Center for Disease Control, Black communities, pick me, that's how I identify, experience higher rates of diet-related illnesses like hypertension and diabetes, not because we lack knowledge, but because of systemic inequities like food deserts, predatory marketing, and limited access to affordable, fresh produce. Yet, despite these odds, Black people are leading one of the fastest growing movements towards plant-based and conscious living in the United States. Our ancestral lineage has always known how to heal from the land. It's in our roots, literally. And let me add this. Our ancestors didn't call it holistic nutrition, but they practiced it daily. They used herbs to heal wounds, fasting as spiritual reset, and intentional eating as ceremony. Food wasn't just something to fill the body, it was something to feed the soul, literally. So when I say holistic nutrition is the medicine, I'm not talking about a trend or a new age fad or some diet. I'm talking about remembering what we already know deep down, that food is information, vibration, and medicine. Because the truth is, what we consume physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually tells our body how to live, how to love, and how to heal. So let's jump into it. Holistic nutrition is the medicine. True wellness touches every part of you. That is why my business model for Bell's Garden is rooted in the 8 dimensions of wellness: physical wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, intellectual wellness, emotional wellness, financial wellness, occupational wellness, and social wellness. It's also important to note the 7 bodies of human consciousness, which include the physical body, the etheric body, the astral or emotional body, the mental body, the spiritual body, the cosmic body, and the nirvanic or causal body. Do your research on that one because it's pretty fascinating. Each layer must be nourished differently, and that's where the healing work really begins. This is my story. Back in 2017, I was sitting on the couch breastfeeding my sweet little almost 9-year-old now, but that was way back. He was almost 6 months old. And my husband was encouraging me to watch this documentary called What the Health. And he was heavy about me watching it, but I was refraining from watching it and making all excuses because I know at a soul level, I was refusing to watch it because my soul just wasn't ready to receive the information. And I think even more so, I know that when I watched it, I was going to have to make a change that maybe I wasn't ready for or that was going to be difficult. So, nonetheless, I did watch it, and exactly what I was afraid of happened. I watched it and I couldn't deny what I was watching. And my life, I felt, was already chaotic because I was a new mom trying to figure out how to grow this whole human. But at that point, I really, really had to figure out what I was doing. And so that day, 3 days before my son turned 6 months old, I stopped eating meat, just like cold turkey. And then I didn't know what to do. After that, the next few weeks were like hell on earth because I really didn't know what I was doing. But my body was requiring it. My body was requiring it. I was feeding this little human and he was having stomach issues from what I was eating. So all of the things, I had to make a decision, and I decided to go cold turkey meatless. But before that, I have an uncle, my paternal uncle, my dad's brother. He's actually a naturopathic doctor in Wichita, and he used electromagnetic therapy to clear parasites from my system. And when I was having uterine issues that were identified by my fertility doctor, he put me on a regimen of herbs and supplements to help to support my uterine system. And I had started those in lieu of the medicinal things that they were trying to offer me. And 6 months, when I went back to the doctor, they were like, "What have you been doing?" And I told them the protocol that my uncle put me on, and they were just shocked. And they couldn't say much about what I was doing because my body was healing itself. But let me be real. I didn't stop there. Once my body started healing, I started to analyze every other thing: the food I ate, the media that I watched, the people I surrounded myself with, the indoctrinations that were given to me, religion, marital structures, practically everything. I had to question everything. My son's birth also helped to usher that in, but I think that he was the soul to help save me and save me from the path that I was going down, which was just complicity in my current state without thinking. I just didn't want to think. And so after that, I had to ask about everything. Is it nourishing me? Is it consuming me? Is it good for me? It really went through a heavy pivot, but it all started with diet, really, and not just diet from the environment, but my food diet. So, what I found in my healing journey is that moving through a healing space asks you to question everything you were taught to accept without thinking. And that was the most difficult part. And so when I say holistic nutrition is the medicine, I mean feeding every dimension of yourself with intention. So if we have to get into the layers, mental nutrition, what's feeding your mind? The shows, the music, the conversations you consume, are they expanding you or are they draining you? Emotional nutrition. How do you talk to yourself when nobody's listening? Are your thoughts tender and with grace for yourself or are they toxic? Spiritual nutrition. Are you connecting with something greater than yourself? Meditation, prayer, journaling, whatever aligns with your soul's frequency. Are you doing something? Environmental nutrition. Your skin is your biggest organ. What's around you, what's on you, and what's in the air does matter. And then energetic nutrition. This is the one right here because energy is expensive. People hand it out like it's cheap. Taylor Swift just said something about energy being expensive. She's not the first person to say that and to come to that realization, but I'm thankful that she's using her platform to talk about how energy is important. And so protect your peace, your time, and your spirit. Not everybody deserves access to your frequency, which I'll talk about in a later episode. And I learned that firsthand. You can eat leafy greens all day, but if you're surrounded by low vibrational chaos or carrying it inside yourself, then you'll still feel depleted. And so healing forced me to recognize that energy leaks are as real as sugar crashes. And sometimes the person draining your energy the most is you. Here's my call to action for you this week. Practice being a conscious consumer. Here are some steps that will move you in the right direction. First of all, start small. You can start small by adding one plant forward meal a day. I mean, when I say plant forward, I'm saying like my plates used to have more meat, less veggies, and good stuff on the side, but maybe you can switch that around, or you should switch that around. Put veggies and fruit on the plate and have that be the bulk of what you consume. And then if you're a meat-based person, then maybe just a small piece of meat. But I would encourage you to try to reduce meat out of your diet. It's not good for anybody anyway. Hydrate intentionally. Water is liquid light. Drink it like a prayer. What's even more hydrating is the juices of the fruit. Not fruit juice, but juices of fruit. So simply just consuming fruit will give you more hydration than even water will. So eat more fruit. Check your environment. There's an app on the phone called the Yuka app. They're not paying me to talk about them, but the Yuka app, it's free and you can scan the barcodes of different things in your house to see what type of toxins they have in it, or if what the app has rated the product or the food to be. It's pretty cool. Audit your intake. What are you reading, watching, or scrolling through? If it lowers your frequency, unfollow it. I wish I could show you my algorithm on my social media because it's very positive and it's very enlightening. It has a lot of just amazing, positive light. All of your world is what your reality is. And so, yeah, change your algorithm by changing what you're consuming. Set boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Let's do it together. No. That's it. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody. Set boundaries. Speak life over yourself. Your body hears you. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. It's very literal. And then lastly, choose love daily. Now, choosing love doesn't mean ignoring red flags or staying in situations that no longer serve you. That's not what I'm talking about. Or harm you. That's not what I'm talking about. Jay Shetty says in The 8 Rules of Love that love isn't just a feeling, it's a practice. It's compassion, patience, communication, and accountability. So choosing love could look like speaking truth even when it's hard, holding space for others without losing yourself. That's my lifelong thing I got to work on. Showing empathy, not ego, forgiving without forgetting your boundaries, and then seeing people as they are, not who you want them to be. That's a good one. Ask me how I know. So when you choose love in its purest form, you become medicine for yourself and everyone around you. So before we wrap this episode up, I want to leave you with a quote and 10 affirmations to carry in your spirit this week. The quote I want to leave with you today comes from the author Felicity Lucky, who said, "We are what we repeatedly eat. Healthy eating is not an act, but a habit." And not just physically eat. Because when we think about eating, we're just like, oh, I'm putting food and putting it in my mouth. But this is all the things you consume. We are what we repeatedly listen to. We are who we repeatedly hang around. Everything is a mirror of us. So holistic nutrition, thinking about that is super important. Healing is not a one-time thing. It's what we do daily. It's what we eat daily. It's what we think daily. It's what we allow in our space daily, over and over again, because that's who we are becoming. Okay. Now take a deep breath and let's anchor this energy with 10 affirmations. I honor my body as my first home. Every bite I take is an act of self-love. I feed my mind thoughts that nourish me. I release what no longer serves my highest good. That's a word for the people in the back. My energy is precious and I protect it fiercely. I am aligned with divine wellness and wholeness. The food I eat vibrates with life and light. I consume love, joy, and peace daily. It's non-negotiable. My healing is a journey, not a race. And lastly, holistic nutrition is the medicine, and I am my own healer. Ashe. Family, thank you for spending this sacred moment with me. I hope today's episode reminded you that your healing doesn't have to mirror anyone else's. It's your own journey. So whether it's through food, faith, or frequency, your body already knows what to do. Just have to give it permission to thrive. Remember, everything you consume becomes a part of you. So eat with intention, love with boundaries, and live with awareness. Love yourself enough to heal. Feed yourself truth and let grace guide your every choice. And speaking of frequency, my next episode is titled Frequency is the Medicine. I'm going to get deeper into frequency. We're going to talk about vibration, alignment, and how sound and energy shape your reality. Or I should say, how energy shapes your reality. I kind of talked about it in this episode, but I'm going to get into it deeper in the next episode. You do not want to miss that. So until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.